Hi, I am Coach Nikki Cates, and this is a self-coaching vlog. How are you? I'm good, if you asked. Uh, the morning started off decent. Got some really good insight on some studying I've been doing for a training video for the Unmasked series that I need to add the audio to this morning. By the time you watch this, the video will have been released on the Substack. Actually, I'm going to put it on here as well, so you probably may have seen it pop up. Anyway, I'm rambling. All is well. I stuck to my routine this morning. Very simplistic. I gave myself a little bit more time with grounding, about 5 minutes, and I actually worked out with Grow with Joe this morning and did about 20 minutes with Grow with Joe, a full body dumbbell workout. And I feel good. Have not eaten anything yet. I pretty much have a routine now. As long as I do my 30 for 30, which I did, 30 within 30, and I took my supplements, I am probably not going to eat anything this morning. I probably will just have my coffee and then eat something around midday. And I'm thinking of intermittent fasting thereafter until the next morning. So I'm going to try that out. We're going to see how that goes. I'll let y'all know. One thing I know works for me is intermittent fasting. It always works for me. No questions. I just don't like doing it, but I don't like counting calories either, and that also works. So just got to make a choice and choose one, right? So that's my choice. Have been contacted by my local VA to join the MOVE program, because what happens is any type of assistance that they're going to offer you for weight loss, you have to go through that program first. It's like a Weight Watchers, but for veterans. And from my understanding, from the time that I tried to use the program in the past, that it's gotten much better. You actually work with like a nutritionist, and you have a group, a community to hold you accountable. You have meetings, they check your weight. It's very Weight Watchers-ish. But the difference is, once they see you interact with that program, then if you're heavy enough, because I'm not heavy enough, you can become a candidate for gastrosurgery, right? A lot of people lose the weight that way. That is not my desire, because, again, I'm not looking to be skinny. I am looking to be healthy long term and feel great in my body. And for me, for the most part, that's removing my midsection. The way my body works, if I lose weight, I lose it all over, right? I mean, obviously, none of us can truly spot reduce. Where we lose the weight, our bodies are already DNA, driven. But for me, I always lose it everywhere except where I want to. And then that just sticks around. So I'm skinny with still the midsection, which is the midsection that bothers me the most. I'd take my body now. No complaints if my stomach wasn't there. So I have gone through many years, y'all, having to come to terms with the fact that how dare I be so hateful towards the womb that gave me my 4 daughters and now my grandson. How dare I? I mean, I was one with the toxic relationship with my body, where I expected her to show up and do all the things and then some, but not give her the proper attention and love that she needed. So how dare I? you know? So hopefully that's for somebody else that hasn't come to that point yet, to ask yourself that question. So with that being said, I am going to move into the MOVE program and go back to intermittent fasting for now. I would assume, working with the MOVE program, that will also help me to maintain afterwards, because that's always my issue. I lose, but then I gain back. So we'll see what happens, y'all. Y'all pray for your girl and keep supporting me. In terms of grounding, I found myself back at the armor of God this morning, specifically because I was dealing with my mindset pertaining to this concept of one, free will versus God's will. We are giving free will, we have agency as individual human beings. And God's will is God's will, right? And if you are in fact a believer, then you understand that God's will should influence our free will. But a lot of times that's not the case. So I'm going to be teaching on this more in the unmasked training, because with our free will, that's where we find ourselves having to assimilate or be accepted or seeking validation or surviving. And that's where we begin to wear those masks and put on those layers to protect ourselves, to survive, to meet the expectations of society and so forth. But with God's will, it's simply about trusting in Him with all of your heart and leaning not to your own understanding. That's His word. It's about allowing our will to be shaped by His will. So that's something to think about as we're considering Romans 12:2, that we are not to conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. And that's everything that I do. It's based off of that one scripture right there. Because how culture tells us to do something is typically not going to run parallel. It is going to go in a whole different direction. Okay? God does not do things the way that the world does them. Period. And most likely, the way the world does them is counter to the way God does them on purpose. It's intentional, right? So what I was thinking about this morning in considerations to mindset is how mindset, the relationship between mindset and perspective. Like I just had a situation right before clicking record. Can we develop a healthy relationship with ourselves even though we are surrounded by toxic? That's a really good question that we should think about. Can we truly be fruitful when we are surrounded by people that want to stink on that fruit? Whether intentionally or not intentionally. Something to think about. Can we? So that's kind of where I was at this morning with my grounding, with my mindset. Can we? Can we have a healthy relationship with our bodies if we have people around us that are toxic when it comes to how we look? Is that possible? Can you be a healthy, full, healed, untraumatized woman and still be married to a narcissist? Or in relationship with a narcissist? I've heard it said that it's absolutely not possible. Not long term. However, I've been in this situation for almost 10 years. So you tell me, is it possible to be healthy in a toxic environment? If you're attempting to lose weight, if you're attempting to build a business, I can tell y'all now that I've been hanging in there and I've been doing it. However, it has been very, very difficult and more challenging than it would have been if not. So just something to consider, ladies, as y'all are out here looking for your man or your partner. Keep that in mind. But that's something I'd like for us to think about a little bit. Can we be healthy when we are in direct contact with toxic? I think that's a reasonable question to ask today. Anyway, so that's my plan. You already know my new weight goal. I already gave y'all that yesterday. And as far as business is concerned, I ask that you all will begin to like and share my content so that I can get more reach more women, and have them come over into the community, y'all, because this community is not just for other people, it's for me as well, to create a community where I can unmask in a safe space and not only show up for others, but have others there to show up for me as well. So this is a mutual thing, a communal thing. I was reading last night, and Trisha Hersey, in her book Rest is Resistance, I showed y'all that book already, but I'll show you again. She says our collective rest will save us. Collective is the key word there, y'all. Collective, okay? And I also came across this one. Where is that quote? It's a quote by James Cone. Hold on, y'all. I feel like I had it somewhere. Okay, I'll have to give it to y'all later. I should have had it right here in front of me. But basically, the quote is that there is no true liberation and freedom just from one individual. It has to come from the rebuttal or of the whole system. I'm paraphrasing. And what he's talking about is the liberation of black people, right? But let's talk about this from a communal perspective real quick. We talked yesterday about this concept of interdependence. I don't need you all to come here to my house and make me do the things that I need to do. I know what I need to do. Most of us do. But having a mutual understanding of the situation, having a mutual experience where you're able to give me your side of things, your perspective, or for you to be on the outside looking in on my situation, those are priceless perspectives that can be added to my journey. And I, in turn, can do the same. And so that's why something as powerful as developing a community around something like Unmask is so needed, because it creates a space where you have that synergy amongst people of like-mindedness that all basically want the same things. Different people are in different levels or tiers or milestones on their journey, and you're able to share that amongst each other. So you go back to this aspect of us needing community, that concept of Ubuntu, okay? So just think about that today, y'all. One, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And two, that's why I'm creating what I'm creating. And what I'm saying to you all is that what you're seeking? Something to think about. Or are you sitting at home self-isolating and making excuses to yourself? Which is a solid choice, y'all. But that's not God's best for you. And that is not how you're going to see the transformation that you seek in any area of your life. Okay? All right. Well, that's it for me today. Y'all be on the lookout. Please like, share, subscribe. And if you're not interested in the Unmasked series, please send that link to someone else that could use that type of coaching and training and sisterhood environment. All right. Thank you. Have a great one. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.